my second Amanda for the day. Amanda, welcome to the summit. Glad to have you here.
Amanda's a great name.
For those watching, listening who are unfamiliar with you and your content, please give us an introduction and how are you today? How is Amanda, the human being, checking in today?
Well, today's good because I'm talking to you, so that put me in a good mood. But my full name's Meixner Rocchio, and I'm best known for my meal prep and nutrition content on Instagram. So I really started off sharing my meal prep for the week. When I graduated college, I would share all my meals, the recipes, and everyone was really impressed with just seeing about 5 days worth of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I used to meal prep all of that. So that's kind of where my brand started. And then over time, I realized that people want to know what food to choose and why. So not just what I'm doing, but what types of food, make you feel good, help fuel your body, help support, a variety of different functions, the immune system, all of that. So I really got into more of nutrition facts and even healthy swaps. People love healthy swaps because it's an easier way to be okay, instead of buying this ketchup laced with sugar, here's another brand, no sugar, minimal ingredients, and those really add up over time. So that's kind of what my brand has evolved into, along with sharing some fitness tips because I do love working out. So sharing kind of all the aspects of a healthy lifestyle, but very much based around nutrition. And I like to say I make nutrition easy to understand because I feel like we overcomplicate things.
A lot of times, yeah.
Yeah. And so getting back to basics is really what I'm about.
I've heard from quite a few people, quite a few other summit speakers, and just what I've even seen in my own life. A lot of people are going back to cooking. A lot of people are going back to, because we're kind of forced, whether you're getting Uber Eats or going to pick up from a restaurant, we really can't, most of us can't go out to eat anymore. And so we're reintroducing, or for some people, introducing for the first time, cooking at home, eating at home, nutrition. And some people I'm hearing are falling in love with it, getting to try a bunch of new recipes, which is great for people like you who create content like that. But right now, someone who maybe has limited access to the foods that they're used to, the ingredients that they're used to, or just trying to be more cautious of how many times they're going to the grocery store. Let's think kind of minimalistic right now, probably fundamentals of people's pantries and fridges. What are some core key nutritional foods or food groups that we could be focusing on right now that probably hit the masses?
Absolutely. So obviously right now having a bunch of non-perishable on hands will last you a while, and then you can kind of bulk cook some of them, and then they also store well. So some healthy carbs that are great that you could kind of batch cook that I like to have are quinoa, lentils, rice, and steel cut oats. Those are great to batch. And the best thing I like about lentils is rice is you could mix and match with canned beans, canned corn, canned tomatoes. You can kind of
other
mix
perishables.
Yeah. Exactly. And make a really good,
or non-perishables, excuse me.
Yeah. Make a really good, tasty dish with just some sea salt, olive oil, just a couple seasonings to have on hand. So those are some of my favorites. Obviously canned goods I think are a great choice right now, and beans are full of fiber and they also have some extra protein, so very filling. So there's so many different types of beans out there: black beans, pinto beans, garbanzo beans, kidney beans, all the beans. So I'm all about that right now.
Refried beans.
So I think those are great because you can combine them to make a very filling meal. And then I also like to have some sweeter stuff on hand. So I love dried fruit, and for these times, normally, obviously when you can,
that's a great idea. Yeah, the dried fruit.
Yes. Normally when you can, I still say go for fresh fruit, but it's great to have it because when you run out, then you'll just have some raisins to add to your oatmeal. I love goji berries. Those are one of those trendy ones, but they also taste really good.
Yeah, fun fact, I'm pretty sure goji berries are the only fruit that is also a complete protein source.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that one.
I'm pretty sure. I remember learning that fun fact. I was like, ooh, fun fact. I got to share that out. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. So those are great. And then also I have a lot of nut butters on hand, and just nuts in general because they're super filling fats. You also got the fiber. I don't know. What's your favorite nut butter?
I'm a classic peanut butter kind of guy. Creamy, not crunchy. Sorry, don't come at me, all the crunchy fans. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it all. I don't discriminate. Peanut butter, almond butter, cashew butter. Throw it at me. I'll eat it on toast, on a rice cake, whatever. I'm all about it.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And look, right now, I think is a great time for people to bring a lot of awareness into a lot of areas of their life, just because we're within four walls. Most of us are within four walls more often than not. And so nutrition and cooking and food groups and just learning this stuff, I think is a great way to go about it, but also then applying it to like what you're saying of, learning different recipes and having things prepared. What I would also advocate a little bit here and go counterpoint. Some people might be like really frustrated with what's going on, and they, are dealing with uncertain times, and you just want to kind of give in a little bit. I'll maybe even say emotional eating, but just look, stress causes weird things to happen in the mind and the body. How would you kind of walk someone through, okay, yes, let's be aware of this. Let's even allow this to happen for your sanity and in the long term, nutritional giving in, I'll say. How would you kind of walk through that?
Like, when is it okay to give in general, or like, what's your general question?
Well, maybe even just use you as an example. I mean, have you had an experience yet where like you're so squared away with meal prep and planning and being aware of the nutritional content and quality of foods, but I'm sure you have to have something where you're just like, you know what, today I'm not meal prepping. Today I'm going to have that sweet. Today I'm going to maybe deviate from my norm. But during times like this, I think that's sometimes just as needed, if not even more so, than always staying true to your diet or your meal plan.
Absolutely. I mean, I think sometimes, I have bad days. We all have bad days. And sometimes it is nice to go for those sweet foods, those comfort foods. Obviously, I want to make sure you're taking care of yourself and you do something in your day that makes you feel good, that isn't maybe just food. Like, food isn't always the answer, because, that's not a good thing either. But yes, I do think having those days, having some of those comfort sweets, it absolutely does make me feel good. And sometimes I don't feel like cooking as much, and I go for those chips. Also, something to consider, if weight loss was your goal, like maybe right now, like eating in a calorie deficit is adding to your stress. So that may not be a good idea. It may be better to switch to like a calorie maintenance, or even maybe a slight surplus, depending on where you're at, if you feel like that's adding to your stress. And still focus on eating some nutritious meals, because I do find for myself, and I hear for other people, that when you're eating some filling meals, like, you don't crave as much of that junk food or whatever. Like, for me, I run into a problem when I haven't really eaten all day, right? And then you like binge at night, or then you're like, I really need that quick thing because I'm so hungry because I didn't make myself some sort of food. Yeah,
it's like, I'm getting hangry. Why? What's going on? Oh, I haven't eaten in 8 hours.
Yes. Like someone left a comment on my post recently, and she was like, "Yeah, I have ice." I know I was gonna make some people be like, "What the heck?" But she was like, "I have ice cream in my fridge, but every time I eat dinner and I feel full, so I don't want to eat the ice cream." She's like, "I'm gonna get to it." I'm like, I think people probably have the opposite problem, but I do appreciate that perspective. It's like, when you're full off good food, and food that you still like to, you shouldn't be eating food you hate. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Find the vegetables, find the filling foods that you like. And it also helps to keep some, like, obviously, you have like your chips or whatever, you have some of that, but also fast food that's healthier. Like, I love a good chocolate protein powder. It's sweet, it can fill you up. And kind of, instead of going for some of that candy all the time, it's just another option to have in the mix. So you don't always find yourself going for snack after snack after snack. But yes, some days that is me.
Yeah, no doubt. Likewise, me too. And you said a key word there that I actually was talking about, I think, in a recent IG story, protein. Right now, regardless of the nutritional goal you had coming into this pandemic, coming into quarantine, or even if you had one at all, but if you were going for weight loss, maintenance, weight gain, muscle gain, whatever your goal was, regardless of that goal, I think now is even more of a necessary time to be more protein conscious. I agree with your statement also of, look, maybe right now we shouldn't be in a deficit because it can only add to our stress levels, possibly. But if that's not you, I think majority of us could probably benefit from reducing calories overall, because
Yeah.
maybe we're not as active, but still being very protein conscious, because if you were working out before, or even not, just for the sake of atrophy, like, we need to kind of preserve muscle mass as much as possible. So can you talk to us more about protein and maybe why now more than ever it's more important to be getting consistent daily protein?
I mean, honestly, I think getting consistent protein is important all the time, anytime,
Yeah.
So it's a very satiating macro. It's the building block for our muscle synthesis and all of that. So you want it. That's like the number one macro you always want to focus on. I always say focus on protein first, and then worry about your fat and carbs later. So yeah, you're spot on with that, and I agree with you. I do find myself eating less because I'm not moving around as much, so I am not as hungry. Like, obviously, when I am stressed, maybe I crave some snacks, but I'm still not eating as many calories. So even if you're not in a calorie deficit, you're right, you should be eating less calories just because you're not moving as much. So honor your body, honor yourself where you're at, and it's not a bad thing. Like, if you feel like you're at home more and you actually have more, I've heard people say they feel like they have more control of their food and less temptation than, being in the office. So if that is you and you feel comfortable and ready, I also it's totally great to have a fat loss goal still.
Yeah.
Feeling it. I
I agree. I saw the joke. The mutual homie, Max Lugavera, he tweeted out, I think right at the beginning of all of this, he said a couple things. He was like, I burned 12 calories today. And then there was a follow-up tweet. I'm definitely going to put on the COVID-15. It was like the COVID-19 turning into the COVID-15.
Yeah.
And so honestly, for me, I've definitely lost weight. I've definitely lost some body fat. And here's why. And I'm curious if you've been doing some similar practices. Because of my inability to go train like I used to in the gym with weights, I have really had a conscious shift to my what's called your NEAT. Not so much, your NEAT, but my low steady state cardio, walking. That's what I'm talking about. And so now, because I'm aware of what I can't do, I am becoming more focused on what I can do and trying to go above and beyond that. And I've known this from my body type in the past, when I focus more on that low intensity, steady state cardio, AKA walking, that my body likes to let go of fat. And so, I mean, I've definitely lost, I'd say probably like 5 pounds.
Wow.
But also I feel soft. My muscles aren't as saturated.
You're like, yeah, I'm not as swole.
Yeah, I lost the swollenness. I'm not getting a pump. Yeah. I can't do that many push-ups or air squats to get the same feeling like getting under a barbell, But in talking about this, I completely lost my original question on what I was going to say.
No, you were saying that you've lost weight. How have I experienced something similar? For me, I think I probably maintain, because I do focus on my nutrition so much. I'm still getting movement in, but I definitely am just less hungry from less high intensity, less. It's crazy how much errands I think add to the movement of the day.
Right?
Waking up to that a little bit. So I think it's not a bad idea to scale it back. But I've basically maintained where I'm at. I feel good. I feel good about it.
Good. Moving forward, what are you looking forward to the most out of this? Are you kind of reevaluating some habits in your daily life, personal life, professional life? Are you kind of seeing where you can get on the other side of this, more optimized, more organized, more productive? Like, where is your mindset right now on what can be?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, obviously right now, none of us can really, obviously we can call our friends and all that, but we can't see friends. We don't have appointments. We don't have any commutes. So that does add up to extra time. So using that extra time to create more content, to create better habits, really be there for people during this time, and then come out of it with maybe even better products that help support people at home. So that's really what I've been using the time for. And I will say, when this first hit, I kind of reset my home environment and reset my schedule a little bit, because what I found the first few days, I was just not getting a good workout. And not that every day has to be a great workout. It is harder than the gym environment. Everyone's
These days, it
may
just be if we get movement at all, and that's a win.
Yes. Yes. But I have found like, okay, let me set up my home environment so it's like a little cleaner. Like, you know, when I wake up in the morning to go work out, I'm like, let me clean my space a little, because unlike, you know, when you used to be able to go off to the gym, you know, you weren't distracted by everything around you. So I'm like, okay, let me reset the space, set up my workout space, so I can have a little more focused workout. So that's kind of helped me a little bit. And just, yeah, resetting how I organize my food and all of that so I can stay on top of that.
Very cool. I mean, overall, would you say, I mean, your kind of passion, your area of expertise is in this nutritional awareness and meal prepping. Has that changed at all for you? You know, the meaning behind it, the practice of it at all?
Yes, because you know what, myself included, I think everyone, like I don't think everyone feels like they can go to the grocery store as often as they used to, because they're just trying to limit it, including myself, like limit exposure. You know, we don't want to spread this. So instead of just very consistently, like, you know, like Fridays and Sundays, I'd go grocery shopping, meal prep. I'd show my full cart. I was like, you know what, not everyone has access to everything. So just kind of organizing my food, but not being too obsessive with like the schedule, just being flexible and starting to be a little more resourceful, like we talked about earlier in this episode, about using the perishables. You know, sometimes how you just let some of the food sit back there, like you
Until
had
you
extra
get
food.
super lazy one day and you don't want to go anywhere. You have to scrounge to make whatever you have work, you know?
Yeah, so just I am getting more resourceful, and like literally eating my food till it's like at the last minute and getting the things out of the freezer.
Yeah.
So that's shifted, because I would be a little more consistent with like every Sunday, even though I work from home, like every Sunday I meal prep and all of that. But I still think it's important to anyone listening. If you, like, a lot of us are working from home, even if you weren't before, you know, your office is letting you work remotely. And if you find yourself, you know, sporadically eating and you're not feeling good, like you're not feeling full and you don't love what you're going for, to, you know, maybe even just take the night before to get organized, or like I said, bulk cook some of that quinoa and all that. So you're still meal prepping in some ways, because you are busy during the day and you don't want to, you know, you don't want to go for that bag of chips every single day for lunch. You know, you're not getting your protein, all of that. So, you know, kind of being more resourceful with your meal prep, but don't be afraid to kind of set yourself up for success, especially if you're still busier right now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but honestly, I don't think I haven't been this busy. Definitely not in 2020. I haven't been this busy, I think, being self-employed for 3 years now. Maybe in the beginning when I was just scrambling, trying to figure this whole, entrepreneur thing out. Yeah. But, now it's just the importance of checking in with myself and checking in with my loved ones and my family, my friends, and realizing maybe how much I was taking, how much we are taking human connection for granted. And now look at us, we are intentionally scheduling things like this. I'm having, Zoom movie nights with my friends back in, DC, and texting people on a regular basis that maybe I didn't used to on a regular basis before. If nothing else, I think this is showing us, giving us a little bit of grace with our decisions, especially when it comes to our meal choices, but a little bit of shining a light on maybe where we were taking this whole human connection thing for granted. It's powerful.
Absolutely. I mean, I miss hugs. Like, I've never missed hugs more.
Virtual hug. There you go.
Yeah, it's crazy. And just like the little appointments and stuff that you took for granted, and like just the little interactions. Because now that we're even limiting our grocery shopping. I'm like, man, just saying hi to that person at the gym, and talking to that,
meeting new people. Yeah.
Meeting new people. But yes, like you said, there's also a silver lining to, connecting with more people that maybe you didn't text as much, or exploring different avenues in your business, or exploring different hobbies at home if, your business isn't that busy. There is some silver lining in this for, I think, a lot of us.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure having you join us. Thank you so much, Amanda. Any final words here before we move on to the next speaker?
I just wanted to say, just be kind to yourself, be understanding. Every day is not going to be a good day, but also remember to take time for yourself, even if it's anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, especially in the morning, because I find that really sets you up for success during the day, or just leaves you feeling good right out the gate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right. That's it.
Bye.